Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're doing well, and I'm sorry I haven't put out a video in a few weeks. I've really missed doing these because I like to think through the Psalms and how to make them relevant for everybody, not just for adults. And this Psalm, Psalm 11, brings us to a question. Does God give tests? Sometimes the Bible talks about God like a teacher, and I was a teacher, and one of the things I hated doing was giving my kids tests because I know nobody really likes sitting down to take an exam. You get quite anxious and you're worried, your mind goes blank, and you begin to panic. Well, so does God give people tests like a teacher? Well, take a look at Psalm 11, verses 4 and 5. It says, God's eyes test the children of men, and the Lord tests the righteous. So, does that mean that God gives out tests like this where you have to remember some curriculum? Is he going to test you on the fruit of the Spirit or what the Ten Commandments are and give you an A, B, C, or possibly even an F? Well, that's not exactly what it means when it says God is going to test his children. He's actually referring to a process that we do with something like a gold bar. Now, we don't think of a gold bar sitting there taking an exam, but this is what we mean when we say that gold is tested. Whenever you go and you find a piece of gold in a rock when you're digging, if you're lucky enough, that is, to find a piece of gold, well, it isn't like a beautiful ring or a beautiful necklace when you first find it. It actually looks like this big rock. And you can see that it's mixed. It's quite dirty. There's other things mixed in it besides gold. So, how do you turn this rock into a beautiful gold necklace? Well, first, you have to take this gold rock and you have to melt it. You have to make it very, very hot and it becomes liquid. Once it's liquid, then you can separate it out or you can test the metal and you can see what is gold and what is the other bits like iron or copper or something else. And then after you have tested the gold, well, then eventually you can get the gold bar, which is nice and pure. So, this is how God is testing us. He's taking us through this process. He's giving us different trials in life, like maybe giving us an annoying brother or sister. And He wants to see how we respond to that. He wants to make us beautiful and patient and kind and loving. And how do we meet this ultimate test? How do we go through these difficult things? Well, that is where we look to the ultimate test in Jesus Christ. As we go through the testing in this life, we're going to fail. We're not going to love our neighbor as ourselves. We're not going to love our annoying brother or sister. And whenever we fail, we look to Jesus Christ and we realize he loved perfectly. Not only did he love his annoying brothers and sisters or love his neighbor, he actually loved his enemies. And he loved you and I whenever we were sinners. And he died so that we could have life. So, yes, Jesus gives tests. And yes, we're going to fail those tests. But Jesus Christ passed that test, and we can have his goodness because he's the one who passed the test. Well, I hope this video is encouraging to you, and I will see you next week with Psalm 12.